right, guys, what is going on? Was good. Where are we at? There we go. Hope you guys had a good weekend. Hope it was relaxing and enjoyable. Not everybody agrees, you know, but I do agree with a lot of ancient philosophy, Stoic philosophy, people who are smarter than most of us are. Like Seneca, right? Seneca said the time, the mind must be given time off in order to refresh, but not so much as to ruin your mind, essentially. Basically, we all got to have time off, right? We all have to take a day or even a couple days off from whatever it is, job, studying, whatever. Okay. Sleep is important as well. Getting a solid amount of sleep, which I definitely did this weekend. And all that, because hustling too much is a recipe for burnout. So all these young guys on Twitter, 18, 19 years old, thinking they're fucking, you know, running the world for studying all day, every day. Well, first of all, none of them studied more than I did from 2016 to 2020. So I know, I fucking know. All right. So trust me, burnout is real. All right. But anyways, we'll do our 100K views giveaway today. I meant to do it on Friday, was not prepared. Sorry. But we'll do it today. So I was able to export everyone's name. For to get, I think it ended up being 212. 212. Was good, Sean, Naruto, Andreas, Beverly, Edgar, 2020, Planet, Delon, Vadu, what's good? Marwin, hello, hello. You know, shit, man. I'm starting to think. Here's the problem. Here's the issue I'm having. Okay. First of all, that green, that's an issue. There we go. I'm wondering if this is a distribution here. I think if we leave this with an imbalance on the way lower, it might be. But there's two issues here. Number one, on ES, right? S&P. Number one is we are coming off of Wednesday the 13th. We're coming off of that low, right? So if we just highlighted that, right? We know that smart money buys below old lows, distributes shorts below old lows, right? Covers below old lows, yada yada. So that's kind of what that looks like, right? Where this is like a classic buy day, okay? This is what like a classic buy day looks like. You have consolidation. It's kind of leaning more towards the downside. But just give me a second here. Right? I mean, it's not picture perfect consolidation, but this right here is classic buy in the morning kind of day. Okay? So if you're taking notes, like now, you know, we're coming with it this early in the morning or afternoon, sorry, morning for me, but we're not going to talk about it. Again, consolidation. Then London, okay, so like pre-New York, significantly drops lower, right? Fast. Manipulation is often fast, okay? We see that. And so what it's doing, it's taking Friday's low, which 44.95 was called out to you, all right? We hit that only by like a point more, but whatever. So this morning we traded far beyond that low, which I was hoping to get on Friday. Unfortunately, we did not. Okay, we only had like a 1-point run on Friday. I was expecting like a 5-point run. Market said, screw you, John. So it is what it is. But we dropped down below that. So we scooped that Wednesday low. So then y'all already know what happens next, right? The market does what? Trades from imbalance to imbalance, imbalance to liquidity, liquidity to imbalance, and of course, liquidity to liquidity. So you have a case where the market trades down out of consolidation, away from consolidation, takes stops, right? So then anyone who was short going into this has stops up here, right? Now that's been swept. So we have a scenario where two sides have been swept, essentially, right? So number one, I'm slightly hesitant to short because we're coming off that old low. All right. So that's part of it. Number two is if we're looking for like the mitigation model specifically, then we would need some sort of target, right? Some sort of high probability target. And I don't know what that would be. I mean, the 1 minute looks trash, okay? And let's differentiate this line so we know. All right, there we go. So we thicken the bottom line to make sure that we know it's that daily, okay, that Wednesday low, and then the equal lows here are just small time frames, so we're going to make the line thinner, okay? So yeah, if we leave this with conviction, it might be a short. That looks not very bullish either. On the 15-minute. What I would prefer, and this is almost always, is, and you're right, Cameron, previous week low as well. 3-minute though, you're on your own with that, with the 3-minute though. What I would prefer to see is a divergence up here, and it doesn't really look like that's the case. If we look at Nasdaq, right, they all relatively did the same thing. They all ran, well, Thursday low for Nasdaq, Thursday and Friday's low swept, right? But here's the thing. If we're looking for downside objectives, it's like low swept, lows right there swept, even a short-term low here swept. So what is the target for Nasdaq? And so if I have to ask myself that, like if it's not obvious and clear, then that's kind of when you begin to force something. You begin to try and justify. You know what I'm saying? And that's gonna do more harm to you than good, in my opinion, right? Not financial advice, but that's typically what will happen. You try to start forcing something that's not there, and then you take a loss and go, oh, well, why didn't it work? What do you mean? you tried to trade something that was not there. You're just guessing, and that almost will never end well. You know? What's good, Haydar? If you guys are ready for the giveaway, drop a like on the stream. Then we can get to it. and then we can get to it. We'll get it done early today. So we could probably spend a little bit more time watching price action. Yeah, this just looks, I don't know. I feel like I'm almost trying to force a mitigation here. It's Monday. We still got the whole week. You know what I mean? And that's that. Which is funny because that's actually a sentence in 12 Rules for Life by Jordan Peterson. I always try to read that book, and then I realize how much is actually in there, and it's intimidating. It's intimidating, bro. I did finish Stoic Wisdom by Nancy Sherman yesterday. I read for like, it was over 3 hours, and it was great. I mean, I was wired. I mean, I'm telling you, I didn't think about this before I did it, and I'd realized later when I felt like Leonidas from 300. I was like, what's happening? It was because I had not a bang energy. I put a typo on Twitter. It was the rain. So it's 300 milligrams of caffeine, and then I had a venti pumpkin spice cold brew. I don't know how much caffeine is in there, but I don't know. After like halfway of drinking that, I mean, it's almost like there was no sentences. It was just word, 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 and then just, hey, book's done. And that's with notes too. And then I checked the time. I was like, oh, it's been 3 hours. Felt like an hour. Looking for longs on Dow, mitigation candle, 15-minute. No, here's the thing about that, Andres, and I know what you're talking about because I looked at this earlier too. Actually, I think I looked at it on a 5-minute, more so than the 15. But this low we have on Dow at 9, that was the lower low I think that the other indices did not do, right? We don't have a lower low on S&P. I don't think we had a lower low on Nasdaq either, and Dow was the only one who made a lower low, right? So, but here's the thing. We talk about how the one that trades lower typically mitigates, right? But that's not always on the same time frame. Like that 5-minute looks really good, but if you go and look at the 1 minute, okay, it looks like shit. I'm not gonna lie, but it's Dow 1 minute. What do you expect? Okay, but when we came off of this low, it did break structure here. At least not in like a closing sense, but it's still traded above this high and then traded back down and then into this segment of candles here. See what I'm saying? And then not, right? So it traded back into that and then took off. Short-term low swept and then rallied very aggressively. So the problem with that is if we go back to the 5 or even the 15-minute, the issue with this time frame is, okay, let's just say we looked at this, right? The issue with that is I cannot justify longing here with a stop at this low. I mean, the market would have to in order to squeeze a 1 to 3 out of that, it's going to have to really do something. And it's probably not going to do that. At least for today. I mean, it's a Monday. There's a lot of news this week, I think. And then it's just not going to happen, right? 99% of the time, it's just not going to happen. So then what we would have to do is say, okay, well, we'll put alerts down here. We'll watch it. We'll keep an eye on it. and then we'll see if there's a reaction and then play something on small time frame. So what I'm saying is 5 minute, 15 minute, the stop is too large. So we would need to wait for something on the smaller time frames from that higher time frame setup, if that makes sense. Which that's why that's part of the model itself. If you go back and watch the video, okay, it's not just this one time frame, right? 5 minute, 15 minute, 1 hour, who cares? But the model also says like, okay, well, we can wait for something here. If we get a reaction, then we can go into the 1 minute and play something there. And like, that's fine too. Now, when you're doing that, dropping down into smaller time frames, if you get the higher time frames wrong, then yeah, that small time frame, if you have a small stop, it's gonna get taken. You'll take a loss. You know what I'm saying? So you just got to be careful in that sense. Okay. See, like this, I don't know, man. I don't know if I would trust shorting this. I don't think I would. I like the idea of shorts, but I don't know. Something is just not, something's not right with this. Yeah, some shorts just feel something is off about that. Okay. Oh, you said previous week. Oh, target would be previous week high. Okay, that makes sense. I was confused for a minute. London higher, Asia highs, target for bullish day. What do you think? Probably. Session highs are one of the criteria for where liquidity resides. There's a 1 hour divergence in Dow formed at PM open. Yeah. Well, I mean, I did discuss something brief down in here as well. It may or may not be in addition to the 1 hour. But I do want to see what we do from here. Because again, I'm getting that feeling that this is forcing a short. And so this is probably going to be one of those discernment days, right? Like, oh, we didn't think it would hold and it didn't hold, right? And that's kind of the vibe I'm getting. And discernment is hard, dude. I did not used to have discernment. I used to go, oh, there's your break of structure. There's your short. And then bam, run straight to stop loss. And I'm going, well, what the fuck? And this, excuse my language, by the way, I'm sorry. But again, when we started this stream, we started on the higher time frame, right? And I told you, look what we're coming off of. We're coming off that old low. And this is like a classic buy day. Accumulation, manipulation, and then like the fucking reversal. And so that reversal is where the majority of the move is going to happen, right? Because it sweeps the low. And this to me does look a little janky. I'm not going to lie to you. This looks janky, but still it rallies, right? I mean, Nasdaq, same thing. Sweeps it, trades higher, drops down, actually twice. Imbalance here, and then that run. I want to say, I think someone posted the euro on Twitter, and I took a look at it, and it's the same thing, only just a lot less clean. It's shittier, but what I'm mean is the point is what I'm saying. what I'm trying to say is, here's London's low. We sweep that during New York, right? FX New York. Okay. Swept it or swept it. We trade higher. That's a break of structure, leaves an imbalance behind, and it trades right into that. I wouldn't necessarily say this would be a mitigation here, but that's a lower low, break of structure, imbalance, probably 618, maybe 786, somewhere in there. And then the majority of the move happens afterwards, right? Heading up almost until 11 o'clock. Right there. Right? And that's the type of trades that you want to take. Okay? It's just a classic buy day. Accumulation, manipulation, and then we distribute above Friday's high. In, out, and like be done, right? That's usually what you want, right? You typically want to get in, or at least for me, all right, I can't speak for everybody, but you know, the best trades come from getting in right before the big move. And I don't see the reversal or the inverse of what I just showed you. Okay, so in short, right, no pun intended, I think we're in a classic buy day. The 44.97 level is lows on like a 1 minute time frame, but we're coming off that higher time frame, and that is what's preventing me from wanting to actually take shorts here. Plus, there's no imbalance anywhere in here. Well, maybe that small little spot right there in this down candle, like maybe that, but that's forcing it. And we immediately traded above and closed above that. So it just doesn't look like a short. Know what I'm saying? And that's the discernment, I guess, for today. And this is why I told you about Nasdaq as well. It's like, okay, well, if the S&P doesn't have a high probability downside target, well, maybe the Dow does, or maybe the Nasdaq does. I'm looking at Nasdaq and I'm going, no, immediately no. Right? Low swept, and this is an old low. Right? So I can't do anything with that. And then the Dow, I think at most it has the 15-minute imbalance, 5-minute imbalance, maybe. Okay. And so, but is that enough for me to justify shorts? I don't think so. I don't think so. But we'll watch it. All right. And that's that. But let's do this. Let's do this giveaway. Luckily, I was able to find a program that doesn't charge you out the ass for exporting Instagram followers. So we were able to do it. You guys ready? Oh, there's that matrix screen again. I always love that. Dropped to 1 to 5 on EU today. That London sweep break and retest was a banger. Break and retest, Cameron, you're banned. It's fine though. I'm not gonna knock you. But it's just, I don't believe in retest. The only retest there is when you fail a test and you take it again. That is a retest, but price doesn't test. Price is either accumulating, manipulating, distributing, you know. I'm just saying, Cameron, that's my default when I see somebody say, yeah, trade break or retest. You know, I'm like, oh, okay. Hold on. It's just an automatic response, bro. It's all gravy, though. A mitigation, and I'm not going to rag on you, but like the mitigation, it looks like break and retest, but that's not actually what it is, and that's why it's called a mitigation, and I didn't call it a break and retest or a floor turn ceiling or ceiling turn floor, whatever, fucking elevator. You know, we went to the top floor, now we're going to the bottom floor, we take the elevator, you know, or fucking escalator or some shit. But anyway, enough with the fuckery. We'll do 6, right? Number 1 is your next 5 moves by Patrick Bet David. I can't even see that, chat. I can't even see. All right, let me just write this down real quick. So I don't know if they're here, but they have until Friday to reach out to that Instagram, the Wall Shelf Instagram. All right, so that was Felix something. You saw it. You saw it. All right. Number 2 is for a copy of The War of Art by Stephen Pressfield. Incredible book, especially for creators and artists. So that will be BG the Conduit. All right. Number 3 is going to be a ring light tripod, which I have. I might as well just ship some of the ones that I have. I got like 4 or 5. All right, so the ring light tripod goes to M Flores 6. Number 4 is the phone stand, which is what I have. It's this one. It ain't much, all right? It ain't much, but this shit comes in handy, I'm telling you. All right. So the phone stand goes to Bernard. Oh, I mean, y'all see it. Bernardo Rengo, some. All right. Probably my favorite out of this, number 5 is going to be the wall shelves. The actual name of the Instagram, the wall shelf, the same wall shelves that I have for my books, goes to David. All right. Which is it's 3 wall shelves, okay? And last but not least is that was number 5. So number 6 is the leather journal. The leather journal goes to Liam. All right. I don't know if you guys can see this or not. The text might be kind of small, but Felix Grajewski got a copy of Your Next 5 Moves by Patrick Bet David. BG the Conduit got The War of Art by Stephen Pressfield. M Flores 6, the ring light tripod. Bernard and the rest of that got the phone stand. David got the wall shelves, and Liam got the leather journal. All right, so congrats to all of you. Reach out to the wall shelf Instagram by Friday, okay? That's the easiest way to confirm that it's you as well, by messaging me with the Instagram that you followed the account with. And I will send you your giveaway. And that's that. So shout out to all the winners. Our next giveaway, I don't know when we're gonna do it. Oh, the conduit reached out to me already. Very nice. Very nice. All right. So back to the charts we go. Oh, that's right. It is Beverly's birthday. That's right. That's right. I almost forgot. Maybe I'm not awake yet. Drop the celebration emoji. I think that's what it's called. Oh, it's called birthday. Never mind. Drop the birthday emoji for Beverly. How old are you turning, Bev? How old are you going to be? The stream needs to know. We all need to know. And real quick, just going to cycle through again. '23, your Jordan year. Okay. Man. 23. I was in the middle of I was in the second half of my naval contract. I was probably in year 3, I think. Yeah, when I was 23. I was trying to learn all this shit. All right. But what I was saying is just cycling through the other indices to see what they're doing, right? And they're not. I mean, they might be bearish from here. I'm not going to say that they're not bearish, but it doesn't look as if you were trying to short this, it doesn't look like it's going well, right? And if I assumed that we shorted and we had a stop here, I would be nervous. I'd be worried now because I'd be going, oh shit. Especially how we came off this low. Because that almost looks like a sweep. Almost. Like a little whoop to go higher. Cameron wants to know how long Beverly's been trading. That is a good question. At 23, I mean, it's got to be a couple years, maybe. I posted earlier on my Instagram story, the John Fitt one, that I had posted 7 years ago today about a trading journal. So I recommended everybody to get a trading journal 7 years ago today. So think about that. Next time you want to listen to a 21-year-old mentor, it's like, dude, come on. Wish I discovered this that young. Shit, bro. Crazy times. But at least you know it now. At least you know it now. I kind of wish, like, if I mean, there's no way to like redo it, obviously, but I think if there was a way, like, let's say I had a sibling or something and they were like 17, 18, 19, I'd say, look, you're getting into the futures market. I'd say, You can put the Forex market aside. Don't even bother with fucking stocks. Maybe stock options, but you're going right into the futures market. You're going right to where the big boys are at. Okay? And nothing else. At least in the beginning. Cameron's 31. Yeah, I'm less than 90 days from 30, bro. About to be an old man. About to be an old man. Everybody's gonna start asking me to be Santa Claus for Christmas. You know? Hey, we can't find a Santa, man. You know, you got the beard going on. You think you can be Santa? You think I can beat your ass? You know? Like, come on. Come on. What is that? We'll go look at the we'll go look at the metals for just a second too. We haven't looked at them today. Friday ended up being a reversal day because I think on Thursday I went over how we were bearish on metals and they were pretty bearish until Friday. So Friday ended up being reversal day, and then I think Thursday was higher for gold. I mean, at least on the trading view, like day perspective, and then it also traded higher, and now we're back into this imbalance as well. So with that, I don't know. It's hard for me to be bullish on silver when we have like these 3 lows here just chilling. Now, obviously, we can leave that open for a long time, but I don't know. I don't know. Hoping for a buy on down 15-minute after the bullish divergence today. Yeah, we did. We talked a little bit about that earlier. We could still look for something like that, but number one is Dow's our weakest index today. So again, I'm reluctant to long the weakest index. And that's what I have an issue with. But I mean, because for right now, we're still watching. And this obviously is not the mitigation we were trying to force, right? So we'll see what we do here. And again, when I'm cycling through here, I'm just looking at all the highs as well. The highs and lows and all that. And that's what this is here. So this gray box is a 15-minute imbalance from the 10:15 candle Central Time. And the orange box is just a 5-minute up candle from here. And so I just have this area where they overlap. Marlon turned 23 and it's your second year of trading. Very nice. You get to my age, you become the Grinch. Oh my God, Sean. Hopefully I never turn into the Grinch. Hopefully not. But I like Christmas. For the most part. I mean, I like the spirit and the idea of Christmas. But what I don't like is dressing up, meeting a bunch of people, you know, bullshit ass conversations. It's the most ridiculous thing in the world to me. You know what I mean? Like, I don't know, man. Maybe that's why I don't like most holidays. like because of that reason. It's not that I don't like the holiday. I just don't like certain aspects, you know? And I don't know. It's hard to explain. I don't want to get back into the topic of like the dating life and shit like that, but it's like, dude, meeting other people's families and shit is not the funnest thing in the world. It's not fun at all. Or when people ask you weird ass shit, it's just awkward. And I despise that. I do. I absolutely despise that. How are things going? Good. How are things with you? Oh, they're good. Okay. All right, I'm ready to go. You know what I mean? Like, I just walked in. I'm ready to fucking go. Sick of this shit. Come to an African family is too fun. I mean, it's just some people. They just make it awkward. Or people just act differently. I hate that. There's not a lot of things that I hate, but because you're not supposed to hate, right? But it's like, bro, you ever been around someone, like maybe a friend or a family member or even a significant other, and you know them, right? Like, you know their mannerisms, how they talk, their tone, you know what they wear, you know, like, you know who they are, right? But they get in front of other people and then act completely different. Their tone changes, their mannerisms change. They act like overly nice, or they pretend to like care and shit. I think I talked about this before. It's just fake to me. Fake. You know? And I don't know, it's just so awkward. It's like, wait. Didn't you tell me you like really hated this person? You never say anything good about them, and then now here we are and you're being all nice and shit to them. Like, what the fuck is going on? And for me, I just never understood that. And I still don't. I don't understand why people do that. So now I'm sitting there thinking about that shit. And then they want to come up to me and start asking questions. And I'm like, you're asking me questions. You're asking the wrong person. You need to be figuring out what the fuck is going on. You know? What's the weirdest shit you have been asked? I don't even think it's more so of what people ask, but just more so like what people do. Like, I don't know. I don't know. It's hard to explain. When they're with other people, they look at you differently. I don't know, man. It's just weird. People do weird shit. Like, don't get me wrong, it's okay to be weird. Like, if you like certain music or TV shows, or I don't know, you're just into like weird shit, like that's fine. You're allowed to have a personality. But when it gets too weird, that's when just I just don't understand. Like, I don't know. I've seen people just act weird around death, or get caught cheating, and then just act like everything's fine, like nothing ever happened, like just avoid issues altogether, or pretend like the shit they do is okay when they know it's not. Most people aren't confrontational. Perhaps it's their way of walking the path of least resistance. People want to be accepted and want to be part of a group. Because of this, they have this behavior. Well, if anything, that only makes things worse. Because when you put on this persona or you put on this front, you're fake essentially. It's only a matter of time before somebody finds out. That's why cheaters always get caught. You're going to be cautious and sneaky for a while, and then eventually you're going to slip up and your ass is grass. Lying is the same shit. You could tell a lie and then tell another lie to cover it up and then keep lying to go with it. But eventually it's going to be found out. Right? And it's just like, bro, we could have avoided this whole thing. We could have avoided all this drama if you just wouldn't have been a dumbass. You know? And I don't know, it's just weird. Or like when you know certain things about people and you don't want to be around them. I'll give you a good example. A friend of mine, y'all don't know him, and I haven't spoken to him in a long time, but I grew up with this kid, he was a friend of mine. He grew up across the street from me. So naturally, you know, we played basketball all the time, a little bit of baseball, not so much because I am terrible at baseball. I mean, we still like threw it around and stuff though, but we played football as well. But I think basketball was probably like our most common, you know, sport that we played. We either his house or my house, whatever. And so, I mean, it got to the point, you know, where we were playing almost every day, you know, and obviously I met his sister, I think he's got one brother, maybe two. It might have been one. Anyway. And so naturally I met his mom and his dad, right? And as a kid, you don't understand personalities yet. Like when you're 14, 15, 16, you don't really understand, I guess, that people have nuances, like their subtleties, their habits and things like that, right? Like what I'm saying is you can't tell if someone is like smart or not when you're a kid. You think adults have all the answers when they don't, but they pretend like they do, so you think they do, right? They're an adult, they have authority, they must have all the answers, right? So you, I guess at a certain point, you start to pick up on things. Like you start to pick up on, oh, this person's bad with money. This person's always late to work. Or this other person, you know, has, well, all their friends are white and, you know, they take jokes at minorities. You know what I mean? And at first you're kind of like, oh, that was a funny joke. Okay, whatever. You know, you kind of just roll with it because your brain when you're 14, 15, 16 doesn't just automatically go, hey, you know what? Maybe this person's racist. Right? I mean, at least that's how it was for me. But, you know, later on when you get older, that's when you start connecting the dots. And I went, oh, shit. This guy's dad really is like racist. He saw me talking to a neighbor of mine at the time. And I don't write about her in my next book. I don't really need to, but anyway, let's just say that I walked her home from the bus stop. Okay. And I would walk her home and then I would go back to my house. And she was only like 3 or 4 houses down from me anyway. So it wasn't, it wasn't like a big deal. But, gentlemen, like, right? You walk a lady to her house or apartment, whatever. Rizanachi, all right? So anyway, a couple of days of that, and I was playing with my friend one day, and then he had, said something, was like, oh, I saw you at so-and-so's house. And he was like, you should probably stay away from her. You're basically calling her like a hoe or whatever. And then that's kind of like when I knew, like, oh, this guy makes fun of black people. My friends that are Hispanic, he tells me to stay away from him. Like, something's not adding up, bro. Like something is not right. And then that's kind of when I put 2 and 2 together and went, oh shit, this guy is like actually racist. Like, he might joke, but actually means it. Like there's a difference. At least I believe, right? Like when you joke about stereotypes, it's one thing to make a joke, but it's a whole nother thing when you make a joke and then actually believe that, but you just try to cover up your racism with humor. That's when it's like, okay, wait a minute, this isn't really a joke to you. So back to my main point, after I told you all that, the problem is when you find that out, like, oh shit, this guy's racist, then it later becomes, all right, well, I'm gonna stay away from this guy. I don't want to be like him. I mean, his son's cool, but I don't want to be around this guy who's racist. But then what happens when it's like, oh, hey, we're going to go over there for Christmas. Hey, they're going to stop by for Thanksgiving, or they're going to come over for the Super Bowl party. Now it's fucking awkward. Not because it's, hey, how you doing? How you been? Now it's awkward because I'm like, you got this racist motherfucker over here. And now he's in my house, eating the food, pretending like everything's cool when it's not. That's what I don't like about holidays. That's like shit like that. Because like me, I'm just not going to let that shit go. I mean, you're supposed to, right? Marcus Aurelius tells himself, be strict with yourself, tolerant with others. Well, dude, I get that you can be tolerant, but there are just certain things that should not be tolerated. And I think racism was one of those things. I don't know, man. That's just me. But anyways, not everybody's racist. Not everybody has, those types of tendencies. But I'm just saying, as an easy example, you might think someone else, maybe they like people that are a lot younger than them. You know what I mean? Which that can be weird, Like if they make comments about certain people that are a very young age, it's like, I don't know, it's just fucking awkward. You got like really old people commenting on like the physical appearance of someone very young. Like, to me, I'm like, all right, bro, hold the fuck up. If there's like a 30, 40-year age difference, you gotta fucking keep that shit to yourself, because then after that, now it's awkward. Because now I'm gonna remember you as the fucking weirdo, you know, or the racist or whatever. And I think, again, back to my main point, that's what makes holidays, get-togethers, gatherings, shit like that. That's what makes shit weird. Because I no longer think of you as, hey, my neighbor. I think of you, hey, there's this racist guy over here. And I don't know if you guys noticed this, but me personally, I'm just not the type of guy to just sweep that under the rug. Oh, hey man, how are you? What's good? I can't be that way because I know that you're doing shit that you're not supposed to be doing. So it just makes things awkward. So I'd rather just not. I'd rather just not go over there. I'd rather just not host the Super Bowl. I'd rather just not. Hell, even the Stoics say avoid large crowds. Well, thank you, Seneca. I appreciate that. Screw large crowds, bro. We're not doing it. I'm glad the Stoics would agree. Avoid being the mob, they would say. One of the mob. So, anyways, do you guys have any questions? Because I'm pretty much done ranting for today. We're trying to see, you know, something here in the beginning of the afternoon, but all we've got so far is a general consolidation since like 10:30. So a couple hours here where we've had really a whole lot of nothing. And I don't know what's going to happen here. It looks, I wouldn't do anything with this yet, but it looks like we have a slightly lower low here on the Dow, and we have a higher low here on the S&P. I mean, that might account for something later, but as of right now, I'm just not entirely sure. But I appreciate you guys listening to my bullshit and things that I think about. I think reading a lot of Stoic philosophy, especially a lot yesterday, you know, it makes you, at least me personally, it makes me think about a lot of different things. And I do a lot of, I don't know what it's called. It's not like thinking about the past just for the sake of like the past, but more so like, is what I'm learning now, are there examples that have occurred in the past that I overlooked or that I missed and now I understand? And that ends up being a lesson, right? It's like, oh, I learned something today. And I don't know if I'm going to put things like that into my next book or not. That I don't know. What I was going to talk to you today was about assuming formlessness, which is the last chapter in the 48 Laws of Power. Because I read Nancy Sherman's book, and I'm trying to, I keep looking over here because I'm trying to find it, but I think it's in a pile over there. There's Jordan Peterson's book, but there's, I think this idea of assuming formlessness, okay? The Stoics, Seneca specifically, said to be adaptable. Right? Different phrase, different wording, verbiage, obviously, but it all means the same thing. There's another connection to that idea in the TV show SWAT. Have y'all ever seen SWAT? It's the remake of like the 1970s one. It's got I forgot his fucking name. But anyway, it's about the LAPD SWAT in LA. I don't know if you guys watched that show. But anyway, it's this group of SWAT officers, right? And when they go to raid houses or, you know, do a mission or whatever, at least in the beginning of the show, the first like few episodes, the team leader would tell the team to stay liquid. You know, to go with the flow, assume formlessness, and to, you know, adapt to the situation of whatever it is. Now, although it's a TV show and it's fictitious, right? But it's still an idea that, hey, keep your head on a swivel and adapt to the changes. We talked the other day about how no man steps in the same river twice, for it's not the same river and he's not the same man. Assume formlessness, right? This idea of being adaptable has been around for a really long time. And I think that's going to be a chapter I want to write on as well. I mean, fuck, I just gave you like 4 references right there. Or maybe 3, because Seneca was 1. So you have Seneca. And then you have Robert Greene. And then you have the SWAT TV show. That's at least 3. You know? So I might do that. What do you think of 1 minute Dow? I think the Dow is due to McGee, is what I think. I think it looks terrible. I think the 1 minute always looks like trash. But we'll hop off here. But what I want to do, have a good one, Andres. What I'll do is I'll give you this. We talked earlier about how if we trade down in here, you know, 34,970 and below, that if we were to get a reaction, then maybe something on small time frame to go higher. But Dow today is our weakest index, and I'm just not entirely confident in the idea of longing the weakest index today. We've consolidated here on Nasdaq, and we have done relatively the same thing on the S&P. I think it's slightly lower. The Nasdaq's like halfway in this consolidation range, and S&P is really more so just kind of slumping to the downside a little bit. So I think it's hard to say what I would expect for this afternoon. And if anything, I mean, I'll watch it. The final hour may give us something. I would probably err on the side of caution today, meaning I'd probably be I would lean on the side of not taking a trade today, is what I'm saying. Okay. Enjoying how to think like a Roman emperor. Yeah, Donald Robertson. I've spoken to him on Twitter a few times too. But it's good. Especially if, I don't know if you've read Meditations, but it's a good interpretation on a few things of what Marcus talks about. It's a good one. You're welcome, Sean. Do you have any tips on how to get over a recently deceased friend? George, we'll do that tomorrow. We will do that tomorrow. Death is a topic that the Stoics talked a lot about, and it's not a very fun topic. I think most people would agree on that. But the thing is, man, is when it comes to stuff like that, you have to be ready for that beforehand. I mean, it's Seneca would basically tell us, look, premeditatio malorum, right? Have these things in the back of your mind, right? Shipwreck, war, disease, you know, like all these things that could happen, and even death. Not just death of you, but death of other people, because it happens, right? Death is always lingering. We're always very close to it. I mean, car accidents happen all the time. Natural disasters wipe out cities. We've seen that before. You know, they got some wild ass shit going on in Hawaii. You know, they got fucking laser beams falling out of the sky. All right. So shit is all over the place, right? And so we have to be, I'm not going to say prepared for it, because you really can't be all that much prepared for someone else to pass. But it's not about that. It's about how when shit does hit the fan or somebody does pass away, it hurts a lot less than it would if you weren't expecting it. You know what I'm saying? So you have to expect, we are going to die one day. Other people are going to die one day, whether they pass before us or after us. Like, we really don't know. And if I were to give you a short, like, simple answer to that, is for me, it's the understanding that that they're no longer in pain, right? Like if they were sick, or, you know, they had like a broken leg or some shit, you know, then it's like, okay, well, now they're not in pain anymore. So there's a little bit of, I guess, comfort in that. What helps is remembering them for who they were, well, at least the good things, right? And then just, that's like it. Remembering the good times. And that's about all you can really do. But I'm not a medical professional, psychologist, therapist. Like, I don't have any, you know, degree to that effect. So, you know, I might not be the best person for that, but that's at least like what I do. As I go, oh, this person died. Well, you know, it happens, and they're not, you know, they're quite literally resting in peace. You know, they're not in pain anymore. So, and that's that. So hopefully that helps. Maybe it does, maybe it doesn't. It's the best I got for you. That's all that I can do. It's all that I could ever do. It's my best. Stephanie, you let me know how it goes and what your son thinks of it as well. But yeah, y'all be good. I'll be here same time, same place tomorrow. All right. Thanks again, guys, for 100K views for this year. We're over that. It's like 102 or 103 now. We might make it to 150 by the end of the year. I don't know. It depends on if I post more shorts or not. So we'll see. But I'm good. I'm good with what we got. I'm not going to try and hit any specific number. We'll be at what we'll be at, you know? Oh, it was a car accident. Yep. It actually happened to my friend the other day. My best friend. Well, my female best friend. She was the one that edited my book. It was her friend that died in a car accident. So I feel like an asshole because I should have called. I did send her a lengthy text message though. But if I were to reflect on that idea, you should take that and really understand. Because look, now, if you didn't understand before, George, now is when you truly understand that anybody can pass at any time. And why would we reminisce on this? Man, John, that's fucking morbid. Like, this sucks. Death sucks. It does. But when you put that into view, you learn to appreciate who is in your life right now. I made quite literally a short the other day. I talked about this. Memento Mori, remember that you will die. Any of us can be gone at any second. And that's not to be, you know, depressive. It's to be appreciate who's in your life right now, because they could be gone tomorrow. We could be gone tomorrow. Nobody knows. So if there's anything to learn from that, it's an appreciation for what you have and who you have in your life right now, because we will not be here forever, and neither will they. So with that being said, I'll see you guys tomorrow, same time, same place, right here on YouTube.